again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where we get you caught up in some of the latest news that's tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. And then we give you our take on the news along the way. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, who has subscribed to the channel, and to all of you who have become members of the Browns' latest Dog Pound. Woof, woof. And those of you who get your comments in the viewer comment section. Now, today is a Take a Minute Tuesday. And I plan to take a minute and then think, maybe Sunday's loss to the Jets wasn't as bad as it seemed. But then I heard Kevin talk. I also tried to take a minute, take a step back, and look at the big picture and say to myself, maybe you've been too hard on Dillon Gabriel. The public graded Tommy Rees' first stint as play caller for the Browns, and I gotta tell you, I was shocked. And in the viewer comments, somebody says the next Bernie Kosar is already on the roster. All right, well, we gotta find out what that's all about, that's for sure. But it is the Take a Minute Tuesday, and I'd like to take a minute to tell you that NFL teams, real NFL teams, fire their coaches when they don't win games, just like the New York Giants. Brian Daboll, gone. Here was his record. He went his first season, they were 9-7-1. They made it and won a wild card game. And then it started falling apart after that. 6-11 in 23, 3-14 in 24, 2025. 2-8 before he got fired yesterday. Brian Callahan at Tennessee, he went 4-19. 3-14 his first season. He was off to a 1-5 start this year. He got fired on October 13th. Our guy is 5-21 the last 2 years. He's 42-50 since he's gotten here. And it's not just the record, it's the way the whole thing looks, but he still has his job. We have special teams that are a complete disaster. He still has his job, that coach. We lost to a team who is now calling for Tyrod Taylor to be the quarterback because Justin Fields was so bad, throwing for 52 yards against us, but still somehow winning. A Browns castoff is who they want to quarterback the Jets in New York, even though they just beat us. I try to take a minute. And look at something and say, nah, it wasn't as bad. It's worse. It's just worse than because then he started to talk, and I almost lost my mind because the right questions are being asked, and the Stefanswers, it's all we get. All we get are Stefanswers. Asked point blank, what has Dillon improved? What has he improved on the most from game 1 to game 5? Understand the question. Got to play better. Then he's asked about playing both quarterbacks because Jimmy Haslam said that you said that it was important that both rookie quarterbacks get some time in training camp. You said that. You said that both rookie quarterbacks will have to get some time. You said that. That's what Haslam said. You said. His answer? Not fair to speculate. Dillon is continuing to improve. Everyone is working hard behind the scenes. No answer. Then this was great. Who calls the play on 4th down? That disaster. Yeah, well, I own it. Did Tommy call the play? I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to tell you that I trust Tommy. Sounds to me like he called the play. That's what it sounds like to me. When he doesn't give you an answer, might as well provide our own answer then. It sounds to me like he called the play. It sounds like Tommy probably said, all right, we're going to stuff it right up the gut with Judkins. And he was like, oh, no. He goes right into Waterboy coach mode and go, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fake to the left. No. We'll pretend to fake. And then we'll go to the right. No, we won't go to the right. We'll go in the shotgun. Asked about special teams. And you know what they're asking when they say, what has to change with special teams? Oh, I have faith in Bubba. Got to get better. We just got to get better. We got to get that guy on the ground. Got to get better. Everything is, we'll get it fixed or we have to get better. But here's the thing. Nothing ever gets better. In fact, it gets worse every week. But somehow, some way, he still has his job. Where coaches are getting fired for even less than what we're watching. And both of those coaches were coaching rookie quarterbacks too and not seeing the results. So the question now is, what the hell is the owner doing? What is going on? Who runs a business like this, man? It is just unbelievable. And then the best question, this was great. Point blank asked, will Deshaun Watson be activated this week? Kevin's response, not sure. How can you are the head coach? How can you not be sure? That tells me it's no. They don't want him activated. They just want him to go away. But you can't even answer that question. Like, I don't even know why we have these press conferences. There are no answers. You get no answers. I wish somebody asked, why is Carson Schlesinger out there on a bad ankle covering kicks? Wouldn't it be better just to save him up for defense? Why do we need him on kickoff team? I might have asked him that. But other than that, I mean, all the questions were asked and we got no answers. So I tried to take a minute. But it didn't work. It turns into like, instead of take a minute, it's like Turmoil Tuesday. Because we're like it's like turmoil. Everywhere you look with this team. Turmoil. So then I thought, okay. Kevin didn't allow me to take a minute. So I said, okay, how about this? We'll look at Dillon Gabriel. Maybe I've been too hard on him. And so I said, all right, maybe it's not as bad as I think. Let's do some digging. Let's do some research. He's got 5 games now. Let's see. Let's take a poll. And I looked around as many places I could possibly look to see if anybody, the varying opinions and see how much, they matched up with mine. And I said, maybe I'm being too hard on him. Let's look at his biggest flaws. Let's see what people say. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You see this picture then. And this picture is not good. And if you're not able to see the picture, if you're on Spotify or one of those other places, Apple, listening to this, it's a picture of Dillon Gabriel standing in the pocket with about 3 yards between him and the line, and 1, 2, 3 wide receivers who are wide open, and another who is behind his defensive back and is 100% open. 4 open receivers. I think he got sacked on that play. That's the play because I was like, man, I hope they show that from behind because I thought I saw what I saw. I saw this when it happened. And then he gets sacked. And then they showed it from behind and I was absolutely right. And he got sacked. But we dropped him back like 7 yards. If this can be easily fixed, 3-step drop, get it out. If Judy in the flat, if he just turns and looks, he catches the ball, he's running for at least 10 yards. Tillman on the slant, you can see him coming. And I'm guessing that's either Fannin or Njoku who's streaking down the field. It's probably a flag. All he has to do is throw it to the spot. That's all he's got to do. But if this is a 3-step drop and you tell the wide receiver 2 steps and look, somebody's going to catch a ball. Instead, we end up with a sack. Complete mess. So what's the problem? Can he not see these guys because he's in the pocket too close to the line? And that's why you got to keep dropping them back? Keep pushing them back farther so he can see over the line? I don't know. So then I did some more digging. But okay, what about his flaws? And this is the consensus, folks. This isn't me. I mean, I agree with all of it. But, I mean, this is the consensus. Multiple sources, from Newsweek to ESPN to Huddle to The Heavy to, like, you name it. I looked at everything. And these are his flaws. His physical size and pocket play, number 1. Below average measurables, struggles to operate inside the pocket. Accuracy off target, 57% completion rate, 18.8% off target throws. Deep and intermediate passes, lowest yards per attempt in NFL. Cannot stretch the field vertically. This is a consensus. This is a consensus. Multiple sources. Got a couple more for you. Offensive stagnation. Browns passing game ranked bottom 5. And then missed critical throws. Just like yesterday, Ed Corley missed him. Missed Judy in the end zone. Remember, that was against, was that Baltimore? Who was that against? That was early on. I don't know. There's so many of them. Then there's all the near interceptions. But the lack of height, inability to throw effectively from the pocket, poor deep and intermediate passing, rising rate of off target. We had more passes to ghosts yesterday. Everybody else is seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. So I try to take a minute. It's Take a Minute Tuesday. I try to take a minute and say, okay, maybe I'm in too hard. Will he be a great backup? Yes. Hold on. Will he be a good backup? Yes, he will be a good backup. But like I said yesterday, like it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. Oh, well, not just yesterday, I would say, but look at Kyler Murray now. Like the size thing is a thing in this league. It's like would you have a point guard play center in the NBA? No, you're not gonna do it. Kevin Stefanski might, because he's the smartest guy in the room. Here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna fool him because he'll be quick. Those guys won't be able to cover him. Come up with some kind of stupid logic, but that's what we're up against here, folks. They just keep running the same thing out there over and over and over. And here's the other thing with the consensus, especially after being out there amongst the people at the sports book the other day and listening to Browns fan while the disaster was playing out in front of us. Like, people feel like there is some talent on this team, and it's just not being used correctly. It's not being used the right way. And I was telling you that back when Flacco was quarterback in our team. Just not used right. So then I thought about, okay, well, remember I said I thought Tommy Rees's play calling was mid. I thought there were some good things, but then we'd do some stupid things. It was like we'd revert right back to the 4th and 1 shotgun. Like, I don't know what the hell that was about. And so I was thinking, I would give him about a C. That's what I was thinking. I'd give him, like I said, it was kind of a balance. There were stupid things, but there were a couple of good looking play calls in there. But the public disagrees with me wholeheartedly. Take a look at this. Cleveland.com said, grade the play caller. And this is what came out. F. You got an F. Out of all the votes, 276, only 17 people said A. Yeah, I mean, I would never have said A. Like I said, I'd have been in there around a C. I'd have been in there amongst the 145s. But B came in second. I don't think it was a B. Not at all. Because, and here's why. We had one drive, one pass, 22 yards that your defense set you up. The other drive, yes, it was a 95-yard drive, but about 50 yards of that came on penalties. Their stupidity, the defense, the Jets' defense stupidity gave us 50. So maybe a C minus. So it was like I said, some plays look better, but the overall grand scheme of things, like I said, I wouldn't have given him an F, but definitely not a B, definitely not an A. That is for sure. Now, what I will always give an A are the viewer comments, and we got a couple extras in here today because I mean, there's so much to talk about. We'll start with Away We Go 747. I would have been great as a kid to tell my parents, I just got to be better, and then get let off the hook. LOL. That's all he does. That's all he has to do. I wonder if Haslam even comes over there and be like, hey, what the hell happened? And he goes, well, we just got to be better. Oh, all right. That's okay, cool. I'm out of here. See you later. Going back to Tennessee. At Thomas Taylor -M8J. Kevin said Dillon Gabriel is starting and never even looked at the tape. Let him coach himself right out of a job. That's the thing. He talks out of both sides of his mouth because when yesterday when he was asked about the fourth down play, he was like, "Oh, I got to look at it," you know. But then, yeah, like he comes out. This is every week he comes out. Oh, well, Gabe, he's starting. He's starting next week. He's starting. Like, are you not even going to assess it? Are you going to look at the You're not even going to look at the tape? Like any other, like a real coach says, well, you know what, we'll look at the tape and then tomorrow we'll like, or you could be like Aaron Glenn. I mean, it worked for him. Wait until Sunday at 12:59 to say who your quarterback's going to be. But yeah, man, like I don't understand how, you know, but man, he is, we all know it. He's hitched his wagon. That's his guy, man. That is the teacher's pet. And it's going to, teacher's pet. We'll leave it at that. Jacob Hinkle, 8581. The question of 2025, and this is a great take. This is the question. What's really going on? Because really, that is the question. That's what everybody wants to know. Because there is definitely some kind of ulterior motive here. There's underlying circumstances, something. And if they would just come out and say it, might make things a little easier. They would just answer some of these questions. Might make things a little bit easier. But what is going on here? Every other team is firing, who's got a guy that can't win games, they're firing their coaches. We just keep running the guy out. The same thing over and over and over and wasting these defensive performances. Completely wasting. Between the special teams and the offense, the two facets that have been the problem all season long. And now we're going heading into game 10. 10 games are, and we look at, we were talking about this second week of the season. Got to fire Ventrone, got to fire Stefanski. The offense is awful. Got to move on. Let's go. Save the season. Nope. Michelle Barnes, this is what we teased at the top. She says, I watched Shedeur and told my kids the kid is Bernie Kosar. I told them about the Bernie era and the cardiac kids. Yeah, well, that's what we need. That's all we're trying to get to, Michelle. That's all we've been trying to get there for the last 40 years. We're not getting there with this regime, I can tell you that. That's for sure. With Kevin Stefanski, and it's got to blow this thing up. It's gonna be. It's interesting. What's funny is the Giants fired Daboll, and they're like, we don't even know who's gonna coach yet, but we're firing him. That cracked me up. And then they named the OC as interim. But for us, it's easy. You fire Stefanski, let Schwartz be the head coach, and Rees is already calling the plays, and let's move on. While Schwartz still handles the defense. So I'm fine with that. I would be 100% fine with that. So. Baker Mans. I have a feeling that's a combination of Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel, but we'll go with it anyway. Shedeur against the Titans would be lit, but that's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Hey, Baker Mans, it's going to happen. Because if it doesn't, oh my gosh, they might tear that stadium apart like they did when Modell said we were moving. Rambling Rec 12. Look, you wait around for perfection to win. You wait for eternity. And that's what we're doing right now, man. It just feels like we just sit and wait and wait. And it's the same thing over and over. Just we've called it everything you could call it. Groundhog Day, walking into the wall, the definition of insanity, all of it, That's what people want to see. People want to see something different. Change the play caller this week. Okay, here we go. Looked pretty much the same. It was. Because you're limited with your quarterback, which is what we just talked about. You can't do anything like a normal NFL team. He can't stand in the pocket and throw. He can't see. And we will end it today with TD Mayday. And I thought this was kind of funny. Who said, Bubba's name sounds like a Western musical instrument. Bubba Ventrone, the Ventrone. Like what'd you play in high school? Clarinet? No, the Ventrone. I played the Ventrone. That is perfect. I mean, because it really does. It does sound like an instrument. I never even thought about that. That's a great one, TD Mayday. I played the Ventrone in high school. I was in the band. I played the Ventrone. But we need to play the Ventrone out of town because I'm over it. I was over it like after the second week of the season, but somehow I've never seen anything like this, and that's why that take on what's really going on. That is the umbrella over this entire season at this point. What is going on? It's just so frustrating for fans. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like this. We lose games the way teams have never lost before. We make no decisions. It's just the same thing every week. 5-21, and then I understand the question. We just got to get better. It's insane. It really is. Being a Browns fan is the toughest job. And Dirty Jobs needs to be a Browns fan for a day. That's what Mike Rowe ought to do, because this is the hardest. This is the dirtiest job on the planet. Being a Browns fan, at least at this point, it's gonna get better one of these days. But you gotta give us some hope, man. You gotta get Shador in there. Let's go. This experiment is over. All right, that's gonna do it for today's show. Well, hey, we're coming. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. We got the Ravens on Sunday. All right, the Ravens rolling. They're rolling, and we get them with our undersized left-handed quarterback. All right. That's going to be fun to watch. Woo! Can't wait. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.